Hello, this is Pastor Manning bringing you the Beacon of Hope podcast from Lighthouse Baptist Church at 2032 Cedar Hill Road in Lancaster, Ohio. I invite you to not only enjoy the podcast and the many episodes we have on it, but also our YouTube channel. You can access all of it through our website at Lighthouse Baptist Church or LBC, LighthouseBaptistChurchLancaster.com. And I invite you to go there and check that out. We've been in a series called the 3:16s of the New Testament. So far, we've done 12 of these series, and today brings us to the episode number 13. And episode 13 brings us to the point where we skipped our first New Testament book. What I set out to do in the series was to look at every New Testament book that had a chapter 3 and a verse 16 and then expound, give comment on that chapter and that verse. Well, today we're in Second Thessalonians, chapter 3 and verse 16. And we've come here directly from Colossians chapter 3 and verse 16. The reason why is First Thessalonians only has 13 verses in chapter 3. And so here in 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 16, I'm going to read the verse to you, of course, but I want you to think of two words. I want you to think of the word exclusive, and then I want you to think of the word inclusive. Of course, exclusive means a particular one, an individual thing, or a certain thing. People talk about an exclusive offer. That's supposed to be an offer that is unique to that situation or that place. If we have exclusive rights to something, that means we are the only ones, or we have particular control over certain rights to something. Inclusive means that everything's taken in, or everything that's named in a particular set or a particular group is taken in. If I were to say to our church congregation, we're having a dinner after church today, and it's all inclusive. In other words, all of you are welcome to come, and then also everything will be there for you at that meal. The food, the silverware, the plates, the drinks, all that sort of stuff will be there for you. So think about those two words, exclusive and inclusive. I read to you 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 16. Here the apostle, by the Spirit of God, expresses what could be a charitable and a good wish and benediction on all of God's people. And here he says, now the Lord of peace himself give you peace, always, by all means, the Lord be with you all. When you think of the exclusive part of that, you think of the only one who can actually give peace, and that's the Lord of peace himself. You know, it's good to have Christian brothers or sisters who can encourage us, and that's a blessing. It really is. It's good to have friends, perhaps, who can be a strength and a comfort to us at different times. That's a good thing. But the only one who can actually give us peace, I mean the peace within ourselves, is the Lord of peace. And that's the Lord Jesus Christ. When you think about how tumultuous his life was at different times here while he was upon the earth, with crowds so large that they pressed upon him, being up very late at night, ministering to people, healing them, teaching them, and then up early the next morning on storm-tossed seas, in times of hunger, in times where his life was threatened, in times of betrayal, in times of misunderstanding, in times of direct confrontation from the devil. And yet through all those situations, he indeed was and is the Lord of peace. I'm very glad for God's people. I'm glad God's body as represented by his people. But let me say to you that we ought to thank God, and I thank God, that God himself actually works in people's lives. That the God of peace himself is the only one that can give you peace. That's exclusive. He's the only one who can actually do that. Then inclusive, it says, will give you peace always by all means. The desire here is that God would always meet the need by whatever means that he saw fit to meet it. Sometimes it's in the most unlikely ways. but that always, by all means, he would. And then inclusive, the Lord be with you all. Be with everyone who calls upon his name. Be with everyone who seeks him, who wants him, who welcomes him into their life. God's no respecter of persons. I was just reading in the book of James over the last couple 3 days or so. I was reading in the book of James, and I read again that God is no respecter of persons, and how God warned us not to be a respecter of those who come and worship among us and who come to our services, that we're not supposed to treat the rich or those who seem to have the world's goods in one way that's special, and then be looked down or in a demeaning way towards those who are considered poor. But we're supposed to deal with all men equally. Oh, may God give us grace. Even as I say those words, my mind tells me that I don't live up to them in all that I do. I want to. I really do. It's a desire of my heart. But I know to understand that full justice of dealing with people, that full kindness of dealing with all people the same way. May God give me grace. May He give you grace to do that. And I love this inclusive thing. May God, the Lord of peace himself, give you peace always, no matter what your trouble, no matter what your situation, by all means, in every way that it can come to you. And then thank God the Lord be with you all. And I'm glad that he is. This will give you some things to think on, and I think some things to encourage you along the way today. May God bless you. May you have a great day.